So due to this pandemic situation, we all know that it is causing a lot of stress, it is causing a lot of trouble to people, and people are becoming, anxious, overwhelmed because of this, pandemic and horrendous situation. And possibly more because we watch a lot of TV news, and on cell phone we have a lot of apps which gives us notifications that these many cases has been accumulated and these many number of people have died. So it is basically causing a lot of fear and stress among us. And most significantly, not only this pandemic, it is causing some other things as well. Like people are worried about their future, people are worried about what would happen to their employment, and the future is so uncertain that you can't even predict anything what is going to happen to us, because it is not the only one organization, one institution, one sector is impacted. It is the entire industry and entire world which is facing this problem. A couple of my friends were discussing this situation with me yesterday, and we were having this conversation, and I happened to tell them one thing, that we got to manage stress and we got to manage the problems. We can't simply negate and avoid them. And this is not the only pandemic which is causing stress and problem. These problems and stress are always going to be there in our life. Our life is filled with ups and downs. But if we know, if our interior is strong and if we become effective, probably we will deal with all these kind of stress and situation in all walk of our life. So I happened to tell him one of the story that I actually read. One of the psychology professor, he entered into an auditorium. He was supposed to speak on that day. So auditorium was filled with almost 500 to 600 people approximately, and he had a glass of water in his hand. And as he raised his hand, everybody speculated that he's going to ask that stupid or probably typical traditional question, that whether the glass is half full or half empty. Everybody speculated. But as he raised his hand, he asked this question to everybody, that can you guess the weight of this glass which is filled with water? And people started speculating, and they assumed, somebody said that it might be 8 to 10 ounce, somebody said that it may be 6 ounce, and few of them said it may be between 1 to 2 pound. And as everybody stopped, he said, in my opinion, in my perspective, the absolute weight of the glass does not matter to me. The weight of the glass matters to me how long I hold this glass in my hand. If I hold this glass in my hand for a minute or two, it won't make any difference. If I hold this glass for an hour straight, it might cause a little pain in my hand. But if I hold this glass for an entire day straight, it may make my hand paralyzed, numb. It may cause an inability to take any action with my hand and force me to drop that glass of water. And as everybody shook his hand in affirmation, he progressed and said that in our life, our problems, stress, anxieties, and other stressful situations are just like this glass of water. The longer you hold them, the more troublesome they will become to you. If you think about a stressful situation or a thought that is coming to your brain for a minute or two, it won't make any difference. You will feel fairly light because it came to your mind and it flashed to your mind and it went away. But if you hold a thought which is negative, which is a stressful thought, for an hour, it might cause an ache to you. But in case if you hold that thought for an entire day, it may destroy your entire self-confidence. It may cause a huge pain to you. It may destroy your self-image. You will feel that you are unable to take any action. So ladies and gentlemen, the biggest problem that we do in our life, that whenever we are in stress, whenever we are in trouble or problem, we simply try to negate that. We simply try to avoid that. But what you got to do is you got to manage the problems. You got to manage the stress. You can never avoid them. As I said, that our life is filled with ups and downs, filled with problems. It will always be there. Today, this crisis situation is happening. After 5 years or 10 years, there might be something else. And these kind of situation will always prevail. All we got to do is we become internally strong to manage any stress or any kind of situation in our life, so that we can make sure that if it gets repeated, if such situation ever comes in the future, we are ready. What can you do to make sure that you manage these problems and stress? All you got to do is you got to shift your focus. You got to shift your focus from all negativity to positivity. It's easier said than done, but if you practice it, you can do it. You got to talk to people who are positive. You got to associate yourself with positive people. You got to stop watching the news, because that is causing a lot of stress to you. Yes, something which is useful, the guidelines which are supposed to be followed, please do follow them. Watch the news for them, but do not watch the news to check how many people have died. Obviously, unfortunately, they have died, and all sympathy is for them, but you have to avoid such kind of news, because it causes unnecessary trouble to you. Secondly, what you can do is perform gratitude practice. You might not be even aware of the things that you already have in your life. You're able to breathe, you're able to walk, you have 2 eyes, you have everything the God has given to you. You have strength, you have power, you have a family, you're living at your home. There are all these blessings around us. You got to open your eyes and see all these blessings and feel grateful about that these are the blessings that you have them. You will feel positive about them. I agree, there are situations where you may not be able to focus on the positive things. In that situation, my only advice to all of you is that you focus on actions. Because if you hang around with the problems, the more problem will happen to you. You will attract more problems. But if you take actions, you will be able to reduce the problems and stress. So I hope you loved this video today. In case if you have any feedback or questions, I would request you to drop them in the comment section, and I would also request you to share this message with most of the people are looking for material, looking of certain things which may reduce their stress level, which may help them come out of mediocrity and come out of stress. So this is your friend Tawseef Hasan signing off until we meet again.